This video will discuss walls. On the top toolbar is a wall option, and if I go to the right in the catalog, I can select 2x6 cement board siding. We simply left click to draw a wall, work your way around the perimeter, and when you get to close, if you turn on in the bottom snap track and object track and ortho, you can see how when I touch this end of this wall, I get a horizontal line. That's your snap track, which allows you to get a complete clean finish. If I'd like to change the length of a wall, it's just as simple as selecting an opposing wall, clicking on the dimension, and entering a new dimension, 26 feet. If I'd like to show the dimensions of that building on the perimeter, if I have annotation tab turned on, which is located under settings in toolbars, you'll see the model and layout and annotation option, which are turned on here. This is shown in another video. Under that annotation toolbar on the left are auto exterior and auto interior dimensions. So one click will give me my perimeter dimensions. If I go up to settings and document settings, you'll see auto exterior, interior options are available here. And if I had windows put in, I could ask window dimension to the center or window dimension on the rough framing. I can have it dimension to the core, to the surface. The same holds then true for the interior walls. So you can customize how these dimensions are displayed. The walls in Solid Builder feed off the center of the wall. So if I select and I come down and type in 26 feet, hit enter, and then work around with the similar layout as I had before. When I select one side, you'll see that I have 26 feet 5.5 inches. And you'll see this red dot. Everything in Solid Builder feeds off that center line, so that allows you to flip openings and flip doors and adjust swings. That's just the way it works, even with overhangs. So many times as a user, you would like to draw this layout and use your distance entering so that you get the 26 feet, not the 5.5. The method used to do that is to come up to your settings, program settings, and under building aids, set your dynamic dimensions to edge of core or to your studs. And then you can come to your wall tool and hit the drop down and select walls by baseline. Then I can click once and enter 26 feet, distance tab down here, and I'll hit enter, and then I can go to my next dimension. In this case, I'll just click, but you could be entering exact dimensions based on your plan at this point in time. And when you do that, you get this option to define how your walls fall in relation to this baseline. Now I want the outer face of the stud, so I'll choose that. And then down here where I have the offset option, I actually want it at 0. I want my studs to fall exactly on the outside wall of the dimension. Now if I wanted to have that 26 feet to the outside, then I may use this outside option and add up the thickness of my siding and of my sheathing and enter that here. If I wanted it towards the inside and I wanted the 26 feet to fall at this point, then I would add the 5.5 inches here and set this to the inside. But in reality, I just simply want the outer faces of the stud to fall directly on this line. So I just select this option, keep this at 0, and click OK. And now because I have my dynamic dimension set to dimension to the this stud, when I click it, I've got 26 feet. And it's that simple to accurately enter dimensions down below in distance by using walls by baseline. If I select a wall and right-click and go into its properties, you'll see under the top and bottom tab, Auto Extend is on. Let's switch to Level. And that wall height is set at 8 foot 1 1/8. Now I can change this dimension to any height I would like. But how did it get to be 8 foot 1 1/8 to start with? Well, if we go down into our Building Locations tab, you'll see there ground floor wall height 8 foot 1 1/8. If I change this to 9 foot 1 1/8 and I draw a wall, the new wall will be at 9 foot 1 1/8, but the old ones will stay at 8 foot 1 1/8 or any custom setting. I can simply select a wall, right click, select all similar, and then go into the properties option and change that then to, in this case, it would be changed to 9 foot 1 1/8, in addition to sloping or stepping. This is obviously stepping on the top. On the bottom of the wall, you can do the same, slope or step. If I were to place a camera and look at this in 3D and then come down below to my views option and under framing, select display framing, you'll see that the walls have been framed for me already. Well, where did that information come from? If we come to the building location settings, you'll see next to wall heights is our framing options, and you can see that this 2x6 wall has these characteristics assigned. If I would like to switch from 16 inches on center to 24 inches on center, I just select this option, double click it, and I could drill down to my 24-inch options with a variety of different plates and fire blocking options set. If I'd like to edit or add custom, that's available up here. And anytime you customize anything in this area, you want to make sure that you rename that wall for future use. If I select the wall tool and an interior wall, I'll draw a little wall here, and then go to my annotation option for the auto interior dimensions. This works a little differently. I must drag that dimension through the walls, and it will then automatically dimension the space and the walls themselves, if that's how you have it set in your settings option. With auto dimensioning, when you select a wall and move it, it will also move the dimension. So that also holds true with the exterior. So if I select it and move this wall, then this dimension changes. If I'm using a linear dimension or an angular dimension, that's more static and it does not change when you move the wall. So in review, under building is the wall tool. The wall options are populated in the catalog. In the building location settings is an option to set generic wall heights when you first draw, and next to it is your framing option. When you select the display framing option, if you select this tag, you'll get a 2D representation of your wall and its spacing and its dimensions. And if you go into a wall's properties, you can adjust the wall width, which would be your studs, any exterior siding, stone, sheathing, air spaces, the drop that would cover your floor joist, anything that you would like to extend on the top of the wall. And then this left and right interior option provides for your drywall and any air spaces associated.